Today we will see the surface chemistry part. Surface chemistry involves the accumulation of one substance over the surface of the other substance. Here we will start with one example. Suppose that we have taken bromine vapor in a glass jar. Then we will add to that glass jar, say about 20 grams animal charcoal in the form of a single piece. We will close the mouth of the jar and we will leave it for some time. After some time, if we observe, what we can see is the intensity of orange red color due to bromine we will find decreased in the glass jar. Means bromine has decreased. Where bromine has gone? Bromine has gone onto the surface of animal charcoal. Due to that, bromine color intensity we find in the glass jar decreasing. Here, bromine is said to be settled on the surface of animal charcoal. This accumulation of bromine on the surface of animal charcoal is called adsorption, AD. Therefore, adsorption is a phenomenon where accumulation of one substance on the surface of another substance takes place. Here, bromine should be technically called with one name. Animal charcoal would be called with other name. The substance which gets absorbed on the surface of other substance, here bromine, it is called adsorbate. Here you see, the substance that accumulates on the surface of the other substance. Not only bromine, you can have different other substances. They may be gases like bromine, hydrogen, or even solids like KCl from KCl solution, or some liquids also we can find as adsorbates. Then the substance which provides its surface for the adsorption of these substances, it is called adsorbent. Here, animal activated charcoal is taken as adsorbent. The solid on the surface of which adsorption takes place, it is adsorbent. Therefore, for the phenomenon of adsorption, we require minimum two substances. One is the one which provides the surface for getting the other substance to be settled. The substance that provides surface is adsorbent, and the substance which gets adsorbed on the surface of the other substance is adsorbate. Here, one thing we have to see. Adsorbent and adsorbate, how they allow their particles or molecules settle one with the other. That means how many types of adsorption we have. Here you see, adsorption can be of two types. One, physical adsorption. The other, chemical adsorption. What are these physical adsorption and chemical adsorption? Physical adsorption means here the attraction between the adsorbate particles and the particles of the adsorbent at the surface, the forces of attraction between them, they are only van der Waals forces, otherwise called physical forces. Van der Waals forces simply are weak forces operating between one mass and the other mass, here between the molecules of adsorbate and the molecules of adsorbent at the surface. Therefore, if the adsorption is simply due to van der Waals forces, we call them as van der Waals adsorption processes or physical adsorption processes. In that way, adsorption may be simply physical, purely molecules of one substance settling on the surface of the other substance. Sometimes there may be the possibility of forming bonds between the molecules of the adsorbate and the molecules of the adsorbent present at the surface. For example, if you take palladium or platinum metal, over that, if you pass oxygen, at the surface we find oxides of that metal forming. What does it mean? Here, oxygen splits into oxygen atoms and oxide is formed. That means it is a chemical process. Similarly, hydrogen gets adsorbed on the surface of the metal to form hydride of the metal. Means that is also a chemical process. When chemical reactions are involved in the adsorption process, automatically what can we call that? It is chemisorption or simply chemical adsorption. In that way, adsorption can be both physical or chemical. In that way, we can see physical adsorption and chemical adsorption, two types of adsorption, and those we can discuss again. Then, here one more point we understand. Why it is only the surface phenomenon? Can we explain that surface influences the adsorption process? Yes. For this process, we will take some simple experiment. Take 3 glass jars and keep in these 3 glass jars bromine vapor. To the first one, you add 1 piece weighing 20 grams of activated charcoal. In the second jar, you break down the 20 grams of another piece of animal charcoal or otherwise activated charcoal, make it into some number of pieces and put it in the second jar. Regarding the third jar, you make or take another 20 grams of activated charcoal, make fine powder of it, then put that fine powder in the third jar. What is that we are talking here? In the first jar, 20 grams of activated charcoal in the form of a bulk piece, single piece. In the second one, we have split the 20 grams activated charcoal into number of pieces and that we put it. In the third, the same quantity, say 20 grams of activated charcoal we have taken and we powder it. That powder we put. What difference do we find? Compared to the first one, because the second one has more pieces, the surface area has increased. In the third, when it is powdered, still more surface area. In that way, we have increased surface areas by making one solid into number of pieces and number of pieces finally into powder in these 3 different jars. You will find, if you allow the experiment to carry on for some time and then observe, in the first jar, the color intensity decreased no doubt, where only 1 piece is there, but compared to the second jar where number of pieces are there of activated charcoal, the color intensity decreases to greater extent. When you go to the third jar, it increases. The decrease in color intensity is still more. What does it mean? In the first jar, bromine got adsorbed on activated charcoal. In the second jar, bromine got adsorbed to greater extent. In the third jar, bromine got still more adsorbed on the powder surface. That means by increasing surface area, we are increasing the adsorption phenomenon. That is why adsorption is a surface phenomenon we can understand. If adsorption is surface phenomenon, what is the meaning of absorption that we frequently use? The meaning of absorption we can understand like this. For that, we will take one more example. You dip a piece of chalk in red colored ink. You will find the ink particles completely going into the even bulk of the body of the chalk, not simply settling on the surface. If you break the chalk piece into two pieces, then you can find that red color going even inside, red particles going even inside. That means here we say that red ink particles, they got not simple adsorption, but they got absorbed. By this time, we should have clear idea about adsorption, AD, and absorption, AB. What difference do we find? Adsorption is only the surface phenomenon of the adsorbent, whereas absorption is the bulk property, that is whole mass of the adsorbent, it will involve in taking up the adsorbate. That is how you can differentiate between adsorption and absorption. Now, if we know adsorption and absorption in this way, sometimes the adsorption at the surface is to greater extent than that in the bulk inside the body of the adsorbent. If the surface concentration of the adsorbate is more, then we say it is positive adsorption. Sometimes at the surface, the particles of adsorbate would be less in number, and in the bulk they are more in number. If in the bulk more particles are there than at the surface, that is more concentration in the bulk, then you say it is negative adsorption. For positive adsorption, surface will have more concentration. For negative adsorption, compared to surface, the inner layers will have, or the bulk will have more concentration. That is all. Now, if these are the things, till now what we have understood? What is adsorption? What is adsorbent? What is adsorbate? Then what is physical adsorption? What is chemical adsorption? What is adsorption? What is absorption? In that way, we have seen the different phenomena with some examples wherever they are necessary. Now, when we distinguish the adsorption into two types, physical adsorption and chemical adsorption, can we make out some differences between these two, that is physical adsorption and chemical adsorption? Definitely. We can definitely make them. Let us see how can we differentiate. Now we will see the difference between physical adsorption and chemical adsorption. Here, let us compare these two. First one, no specificity regarding physical adsorption. What do you mean by that? Here we know in physical adsorption, the forces of attraction between adsorbent surface molecules and adsorbate particles, it is only van der Waals forces. Simply these molecules go and settle between the molecules of the adsorbent particles. That means no chemical bonds. That's why whether it is hydrogen or bromine or nitrogen, irrespective of the gas, the adsorption is normal. That means whether which gas is getting adsorbed on the given surface, for example palladium metal or platinum metal, it is immaterial. That's why the gas is not specific. Whereas in chemical adsorption we came to know there would be bonds between the molecules or atoms of adsorbate and the particles, that is molecules of adsorbent. When chemical bonds are to be formed, there should be definitely a possibility of chemical change between those two substances. That means chemical potentiality is there between those two or not. That would be decided. Therefore, chemisorption involves specific substances only. Then, depends on the nature of the gas regarding its critical temperature. You know, physical adsorption means simple van der Waals force of attraction. You know, van der Waals force of attraction decrease with kinetic energy. More the kinetic energy, less the van der Waals forces of attraction. Because the molecules are in a tendency to move fast with more kinetic energy. Due to that, what happens is the gases with high critical temperatures where the van der Waals forces are strong, they are getting adsorbed normally to greater extent, and the gases which have weaker van der Waals force of attraction between those molecules, between their molecules, and possess very low critical temperature, they get adsorbed to less extent. What does it mean? If you take nitrogen and hydrogen on one side and ammonia on the other side, definitely ammonia should be adsorbed to greater extent at normal temperatures compared to nitrogen and hydrogen. At a given temperature, ammonia should be adsorbed to greater extent because between ammonia molecules van der Waals forces are strong. Then, it depends on the nature of the gas. That means which can form easily bonds, that gas can be adsorbed to greater extent. Which cannot form bonds with the atoms of the adsorbent, it cannot get adsorbed to greater extent. Then, because van der Waals forces are stronger at lower temperatures with molecules possessing less kinetic energy, here you see more at low temperature. Physical adsorption is more at low temperature and below their boiling points. If the molecules are above their boiling points regarding the adsorbate, then automatically they try to go away into atmospheric air. Therefore, for gases particularly, or for substances particularly, if they are below their boiling points only, that is in liquid state or solid state, then adsorption is to greater extent compared to the gaseous state. Whereas here, even at high temperature, the adsorption takes place because there the bonds are formed and those bonds, they don't get so easily broken. That's why chemical absorption is possible even at high temperatures. Next one, no appreciable activation energy involved. Simply we discussed, here you see, it is only a physical phenomenon. The adsorbate molecules go and settle between the molecules of adsorbent. Because there are no special bonds, no activation energy would be involved to greater extent. That is why you can say physical adsorption does not depend much on EA, activation energy. That is the minimum energy required to form a bond. Whereas in chemisorption, where chemical reactions are important, we find definitely activation energy would play a great role and it place practically. Now, more the pressure, more is the adsorption. When pressure is increased, automatically the molecules, that is pressure of the adsorbate molecules is more means those molecules easily settle under that high pressure on the surface of the solid. Therefore, more the pressure, more would be the physical adsorption. And there also we can understand really during adsorption what happens. A gas may be said to get condensed on the surface. Gas gets condensed means it is almost changing from gaseous state to liquid state. That means volume generally decreases. Therefore, when pressure increases, volume decreases. As far as Le Chatelier's principle is concerned, increase of pressure makes the reaction to go to decrease in volume. That is why here adsorption increases with increase of pressure. The same thing you can observe even in chemical adsorption. Then, this is reversible in nature. Physical adsorption is reversible. Why? Because simply the molecules of one substance physically combine with the molecules of other substance. Whenever you supply some heat energy, these molecules of adsorbate, they come out easily. That's why the phenomenon is reversible. Whereas here, due to the formation of already chemical bonds, the reaction may be to some extent irreversible. It is only a comparative study we are doing, remember that point. Therefore, these are irreversible processes, chemisorptions. Then, this depends on the surface area, that also depends on the surface area. That is, physical adsorption depends on the surface area of adsorbent. Chemical adsorption also depends on the surface area of the adsorbent. More the surface area, more will be the adsorption, because more atoms of adsorbent would be available with more surface area. That is why adsorption increases with increase in surface area. Then, adsorption is multi-layer because the molecules of the adsorbate simply move into the surface of the adsorbent. The phenomenon can extend not to one layer, that is simply surface, to greater extent, to 3, 4, 5 layers like that. But whereas chemical adsorption generally is assumed to be with the atoms present at the surface layer, that is unilayer they say, only in the upper layer. Whereas here, this is possible to multi-layer system, that is physical adsorption, whereas chemical adsorption is even to only to unilayer system. Then, heat of adsorption is hardly 20 to 40 kilojoules per mole. The heat energy evolved when 1 mole of the substance is adsorbed on the surface of the adsorbent. Per every mole, the energy liberated is hardly 20 to 40 kilojoules per mole. That is almost van der Waals forces, very, very weak forces. That's why they don't liberate much energy. Whereas heat of adsorption is more than 80 kilojoules per mole regarding chemisorption. Above this energy, always you find that energy, because their chemical bonds are formed, and unless the products involve with less total heat content compared to reactants, a chemical reaction generally will not take place in terms of heat content. We can even see that in terms of Gibbs energy afterwards. For the time being, you understand here heat of adsorption is more in case of chemisorption, that is more than 80 kilojoules per mole, whereas here it is only 20 to 40 kilojoules hardly. This is how we can see a comparison between physical adsorption and chemisorption. In terms of what properties we studied this? About the specificity of the adsorbate, then about the critical temperatures of the gases, about temperature effect, about activation energy effect, about pressure effect, then reversibility, then surface area, how it influences, then in what way, is it single layer system or multi-layer process, and then finally about heat of adsorption also we have seen all these phenomena.